Okay. So coming off of last week's episode, it was crazy because you and Trav talked about Zoom and very bearish on Zoom. And then they dropped, I think the day after.
Yeah.
Um, they had a slight recovery the day after that drop, but Zoom, and we talking about Microsoft Teams and how Microsoft Teams is probably a more efficient way to do these video conference calls. Ironically enough, we are on Zoom, so please, Zoom, do not cut us off.
Keep us here. Keep us here.
Please.
Keep us here.
I know they're like, we'll fix you. Go to Teams then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't cut us off.
Yes, Zoom.
We love you.
Yes. And so, but all right. So Zoom, let's double down on this since, like I said, it was very fitting that it fell the day after that.
Yeah. I mean, I think the question was like, is this the time that Zoom is now going to pull back? And so we saw it drop 11%, and then the after hours was showing that it's going to pull back, and it dropped another 14.
But is that also an indicator of just the space in general? Kids are going back to school, right? Even though COVID is still flaring up, at least in New York, like they're going back to school. People are starting to go back to work. So could this be a combination of just that space in general might just be coming down a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if the space is coming down. I feel like this is now going to be a part of the everyday work life. I feel like companies are going to have to readjust, and obviously having a communication system like Zoom or Teams or Google Meet will be a part of the everyday life. And even for students now, right? Like in New York, they told these kids there's no snow day, right? So like if there's no school, they're still going to school. It's just going to be virtually. And
so they implemented that?
Yeah.
When? This year?
Yeah, for some districts. New York City, I know, and some school districts here in Westchester. So it's like they're still going to be in school. It's just going to be what platform are they going to be choosing. Whatever platform that is for kids is going to be like, all right.
But it's still
that might be one to be
doing it every single day.
That's true too.
Doing it,
that's
in a while.
That's kind of why there was a pullback, right? Because the future guidance was like, how sustainable is this? The numbers have run up so far, and those factors that you're saying.
Talk about guidance.
Yeah, so future guidance is to say like, this is what they've made in this quarter. Here's what they're looking like for the next quarter, right? And so if the future guidance is showing that they're not going to be able to keep up with this pace of growth, then investors are saying, well, okay. Well,
why
maybe
should I invest in
why should I keep investing at this point?
So that's very important for people to understand. Let's have a little breakdown of this. So stocks, they have earning reports, which you talk about every week at 9:00. The earnings reports are their earnings for the quarter.
For the quarter,
For the quarter, right? Everybody knows about that, but not a lot of people know about the guidance. Now, companies don't have to issue guidance.
Apple doesn't. Apple hasn't for the last couple quarters.
It's optional,
right?
But a lot of companies issue guidance. Which like a kind of projection of what's going on in the future, right?
Right.
How important? Do you look at guidance?
I look at it for some companies, right? So Apple hasn't released their guidance in a few quarters, but we know what Apple's coming, right? Where we can see the reports of the things and the innovation that's on its way. Some companies need to give that guidance because it gives the confidence, right? All right, well, I know you guys have been investing, but here's what else we have coming. This is the profit margin that we're making. Here's our P&E ratios for the next quarter. So
Ian has been froze. Zoom.
Oh, Zoom deaded him.
That's what you cannot.
Oh, he's back.
I'm back.
Yo, I was like, that's the longest
like, see? Yo, you and Trap said it was going to drop, and let's drop you.
Yo, that was the longest sip ever. I was like, damn.
They froze him. They froze him.
Zoom, I'm sorry.
No, we getting off the topic.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
So it depends on the company. If I'm looking at the future guidance, Ian, do you? I mean, how do you view it when you do? I mean, I know you're not big on earnings, but when a company offers its future guidance and doesn't, is there pros and cons to it from your standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the peak of Zoom was at 588. The peak of Tesla was at 900. Does anybody think that Zoom was close to half as valuable as Tesla? No, people are going back to work. Kids are going back to school. Like Xander's back in school physically. People are tired of Zoom meetings. I think they had a great year. 189.06. If it gets to that area, I'll be happy. Because and Bonawyn talked about it. You guys should go listen to this episode. There is a range that a stock should stay between. Zoom is a $55 to $193 stock. When it got to 588, I'm like, I understand. Same with Clorox. I understand the utility at the time, but can you hold that over time? And I always get concerned if a company gets too hot too fast. It's like an artist, they have an incredible single, but the album takes 5 months to come out. I'm like, you wasn't prepared for this boom. So I love this, the CEO, I love the founder. I love his story, how I came up with the idea, but the growth was a little bit too rapid. Wait for 189 and some change. And I think it goes to the power of when Trap and I are like, super excited about a company or a statement or a thesis, you guys can pretty much bet your dollar on it. But Zoom, please keep me connected. I love you dearly.
Yes. Next topic.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That had me in the Matrix.
Yeah.
On an Ethernet cord. Oh,
I'm like, maybe he got like a sponsorship with this coffee company or something. It was like held the pose.
That was great.
Like the mannequin challenge.
Man.
Remember that?
Next subject.